Aloha and welcome to Spirit Chat Radio. Today I'm going to be doing a quick energy update because I've been being asked a lot of questions about what's going on energetically. And I'm going to give you some updates on what's happening with Empath U, my Empath University, because all of this really kind of ties together. As I've been doing my Empath University, I have been doing tons and tons of recording. I am literally at the very final stages of this. I only have just a few tweaks, and I'm going to release this class, my Empowered Empath class, hopefully this week, actually. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, even though, I do have wood. Anyways, it's been a very, very long journey. And I've been getting some questions about my energy reports, which I talked about in the last podcast. People are wondering, where do you get these from? And I get them because I've trained myself to read energy. And I talked about that in the last podcast of how that works for me and how I developed it just basically for my own system. As I've developed my empath abilities, I really was trying to be a lot more aware of the different energies and things that were causing me issues. And as a result of that, I developed a very finite skill to be able to read universal energy and energy waves and things that were going on around me. And I was able to categorize that differently so that I could very much pinpoint what was happening with these energy waves. And because of that, and because of the questions I've been getting, I'm going to reword my energy reports a little bit because they're basically empath energy updates is what it comes down to. Because if you're listening to the energy reports and you're one of those people who are commenting in my groups or on my YouTube channel or whatever and saying, hey, you are spot on for me, or even I get an email back saying, oh my gosh, this is me. If you're one of those people, you are absolutely an empath because you're not going to feel the same stuff that I'm feeling as an empath with energy if you're not sensitive to it. So, in other words, you have to be sensitive enough with empath abilities to feel the things that I'm talking about. And some of the things you're going to feel stronger than others, and others might resonate with you and others might not. But if it resonates with you at all and you're like, oh yeah, I totally get that, or I can see how that would happen, or I'm definitely noticing this with some people around me, you absolutely are in tune or tuning into your empath abilities. If you don't have empath abilities, you're going to be like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like this does not even apply to me whatsoever. Anybody I know, this just sounds completely like jibber jabbish to me. So if you're one of those people, then an empath energy report is probably not for you because you're not either gifted with empath ability or not tuned into your empath abilities. So I'm going to continue to do the energy reports, and they're going to be from now on called empath energy reports because specifically that's basically what they are. And I wanted to explain that because I think a lot of people who listen to my energy reports, as I've talked about in some of my other stuff, they don't realize they're empaths. And so as I'm teaching more and more about being an empath, and as this is really becoming a journey that I'm loving, I really want to use all my teaching tools to help bring awareness to your empath abilities and how to work with them, and also how those empath abilities might be affecting you in other areas of your life that you don't know about, because it does affect all energetic flow that you've got going on, whether it be relationship, money, energy, any of that kind of stuff as well. So that's why it's good to know if you're an empath, so that you can make sure that you're, not causing yourself any blocks, or you're working properly with the energetic flow to keep things feeling good and healthy and strong energy, movement, and all that sort of thing. So that being said, wow, it's been a long time since I've been working on Empath U. I mean, I almost feel like it's a dream, like it's not real, that it's actually done, or pretty much I'm just tweaking a few things to get out to you. It's really surreal, really is, because this is material I've been working on for years, and the research has been going on for 20 years. The material I've been working on for years, but I started putting the course together in July, so it's seemed like a long journey for me, and I'm so excited to get this out to you guys, because the people who I've shown this class to and said, hey, check out this lesson, check out this lesson, they've just come back going, oh my God, this is amazing. This is so helpful. So that's going to be super cool. And I'm just really excited to have it done and share it with anybody who needs help, because I wished I would have had it. I really do. It would have helped me so much more to be healthier and feeling so much better so much earlier. That being said, we're going to get into the podcast today, but I want you to know, and I've been talking about this, I'm offering a very substantial discount, like 40% off this class when I launch this class. And you have to be on my email list or in my groups to get this discount before it gets launched to the public. And so I really hope that you take advantage of this if you're remotely interested at all in joining this course. This is a ridiculous deal that I may never ever run again. It's like a pre-launch to my people discount, like 40% off. And I'm doing this because I love my group, and I want to always make sure that I give you guys the best deal I can, and then it will launch at a higher rate. So 40% off is pretty significant, and you get in on the ground floor. And if you were in my group or on my email list, and I will post both of these links below, because you can either get on the empath wait list, which I will post below, or at, I think that, no, I'll just post it below. And you can go to empowered-empath.com. You can take the empath quiz on the website, or you can take the empath quiz that I'll post below. You can get on my email list or the Empath U email list on any of those ways. And or you can ask to join the Keys to the Spirit World Facebook group, which again will be posted. Or you can find that through my website as well. If you do any of those things within the next few weeks, you will get a probably an email that says, here's your link to get the 40% off. And here's the other thing that we're doing, which I haven't really talked about, but I'm just me and Lydia talked about it this morning, is I'm going to do 5 empath sessions with the first 5 people who sign up to the course. And that they're going to be 5 half-hour empath sessions, which is like a $300 value to the first 5 people who sign up to the course. So you need to be on the list in order to have access to getting one of the 5 free sessions. So that's going to be something that's going to be really fun and really cool. So definitely make sure that you get on my list, and the 5 free sessions will literally go out to the email list first. So they actually will go out to the email list before they go out to my group. So if you're in the Keys to the Spirit World group, try to get on the email list if you want to have that opportunity. And I will have Lydia post that in there as well. So let's get into what's going on right now with empaths being in transition. There is a lot going on with empath life charts. So there is an empath chart, empath life charts, and it is something that a lot of empaths tune into. And on this chart, astrologically, universally, energetic-wise, I don't really care how you want to put it, there's a lot of transition happening right now with empaths. And one of the things for this month and next month that you will be noticing, or no, it is November, so I meant last month in October and this month in November. There's some things that you might be noticing that might be causing a little angst for you. So I wanted to address those. The first big thing that's happening with our empath charts are there are some major shifts and changes happening in your life right now. There or could be happening in either your life or people's lives around you that feel like it might be affecting your life. That is, if you're not experiencing these things, great, wonderful, awesome. But a lot of empaths right now are feeling some major transitional shifts. And this could be with relationships and how a relationship is forming or ending or whatever, just them being in transition. It could be with a job. It could be with career. It could be with a location. It could be with money, in regards to money. It can be something new that you're experiencing, a new opportunity, a new something that might be happening for you, or it could be something that you've been dealing with for a long time, and it's sort of coming to a head. And so if you've been struggling with something for a long time, let's just say like maybe a relationship, or even like you were in a job that you didn't like or whatever, these things are all coming to a head right now where some decisions have to be made, where you will either be able to transition with it, or that you're going to find that it's no longer serving you and you're just going to want to release it. This in October and November, there's going to be some realizations that happen to you of things that are important in your life and things that are non-important. And they're going to relate to transitional shifts. And what I mean by that is you may be going along one way and deciding that, I need to make this change or do this or do that. And then all of a sudden you realize, wow, something is really important to me. And so now I need to make changes to make it go a different way, or to patch something, or to, work something out where you may want to be putting more effort into it or something, because you're realizing there's something in your life that has a lot more weight significant-wise as how important it is to you, but it'll be like an aha moment. Like, it may not be literally like an aha moment that day, but over maybe a period of a week or two, you're like really coming to the realization that something, you desire something else in life, and you're desire it enough that you want to make a shift or a transition or change something. So there's going to be a lot of transitional shifts going on. And usually right now, these are applying to things that maybe have been going on for a while in your life. Maybe you've been at a job for a really long time. Maybe a relationship has gone a certain way for a really long time. Or, something might be situational that has been going on for a really long time. And then all of a sudden, there's some clarity there for you. There's some clarity, and not just clarity, but some type of action takes place. And that's where the shift or the transition comes in. So you'll have some clarity, and either an action will happen where you might come together in your relationship stronger than you ever have, or you might separate in a relationship, or you might all of a sudden have this creation you've been working on for a really long time. For me, for instance, a really good example is this class. I've been working on this and developing material for a very long time. And it's all of a sudden, it's just happening and just manifesting and shifting a lot of things that I'm doing work related. So I would say, a major transitional point for some of my teaching stuff. And there's a lot more to it than that, but that would be like a good for instance. Now, the thing with this is you may find that you're having these clarity moments and really some actions being taken around these major shifts and transitions, but you may find that there's delays and hiccups happening. So that's sort of a frustrating part of this transitional time, because you're like going, okay, I know what we need to do now, or here's the action I'm going to take, or I know what I should do, or I have clarity on this situation. And then you're like, oh, so if I have this clarity, I absolutely should be heading this direction. And then you may find that you're having delays, and then another delay, and then maybe some hiccups, and a lot of little kinks that you might have to work out, or just might cause some delays in the action taking place, or cause delays in whatever decision that you decided, or maybe even delays in opportunities where you're like, oh yeah, I put in all the work and here it is and I'm ready to go. And then the reward part, maybe you're seeing some delays on. You know what I'm saying? So that's more of the frustrating part, is there's some very hiccupy type of delayed energy going on with this. It doesn't mean that you're on the wrong track. It doesn't mean that you really need to shift anything energetically. It means that you want to be aware that the delay part is not really you and not really necessarily a shift you need to make, but it's more of a, we're going over this bumpy road, put your seatbelt on type of thing. Or, you know, if you're flying, put your seatbelt on, we're hitting some turbulence. So you're still going to get to your destination. It's still going to be just as cool as you thought it would, or the transition's going to be nice, or, you know, there's going to be, that part will be rewarding. It's just that there might be a little bit of bumpiness on the way getting there, which isn't awesome for an empath, because as empaths, we have this tendency to be very anxious and nervous and get all sketched out when we have bumps in the roads. But it's just a timing, universal astrological thing going on right now. And of course, when is it hitting us? Right smack during Mercury retrograde. So it's expected, and it's not as big a deal as you may want to make it in your head. And just keep remembering that it's not as, this hiccupy delay part is not as big a deal as I really want to panic and make it. Okay. So that's one thing. Now, this energy wave, this transitional energy right now is going to be a lot about ridding old attachments and old energy to stuff that's been weighting you down. And you can move two ways with this. You can either recognize that and try to figure out, what weight have I been carrying around with me for a little while? And a lot of times this ridding attachments part will be emotional weight. Like, what type of emotional weight have I been carrying around with me for a little while that's been causing me to feel like super stressed or worried or nervous, fearful, guilty, maybe you feel bad about something or a situation or whatever, or maybe how you've handled something or whatever. You know, these types of low vibration emotions, these are ones that during this transition, this bumpiness and all this energy is trying to get you to release. So this time, October, November, is going to be clipping the anchors of the emotional energy. And that means just really trying to release some old bad patterns and bad habits that you have and bad choices that you've made that might be energetically holding you down. And so if you've been trying to just push through crap that makes you not feel good, job-wise, relationship-wise, whatever, in order for them to keep going and be in a place where you're feeling lighter, it's time to release that energetic weight. Now, this is not always an easy thing to do. However, you definitely are probably going to feel the urge to let go of basically kind of an old version of how you've been living. Not necessarily an old version of yourself, but an old version of how you've been living, how you're ready for a new version of how to do things. And the reason for that is going to be because of the manifestation energy that is heightening right now. And as you're tuning into this, a lot of empaths are starting to tune into this high vibe energy, which is a more positive energy, so the frequency is higher. And when you start tuning into this higher vibe energy, you will have the urge to shift anything in your life that was bringing in low vibration. So anything that's no longer serving you well, any emotional stuff, any, people stuff, any environmental stuff that feels low vibe to you, you're in empath, your empath instincts are going to kick in, and you're going to be like, okay, that's not matching this new positive high vibe energy I'm feeling coming in. So I want to release it because I want to make room for this new high vibe energy. And this like intuitively happens with your empathic senses. You'll feel the high vibe energy getting stronger, and you'll want to make room. You won't really think about this with your brain, but you'll want to make room for that in your life. And so then you're just going to find that you want to release old junk. Now, if you hold on to the old junk, it will kind of keep you weighted down, and it's not necessarily going to keep these transitions from happening. It basically will prolong them. So there's just a prolonging of stuff going on if you don't want to release them. But here's the other thing. To relieve any scariness about it, if you do release old energy, it doesn't mean that those old energetic attachments might be out of your life forever if you're nervous about that part. It means that it's actually giving those attachments room to merge with the high vibe energy, and there might be shifts and changes where those situations, those people, whatever, might just come back around, might come circle back in with a higher vibe energy, that then now everything's on a high vibe energy level. Instead of having you try to reach for the high vibe energy, have this lower vibe energy pulling you down, if you kind of clip it and let it go, it might actually circle up and join you on the high vibe level. So by letting any old junk go that you're kind of holding on to from, and like I said, this won't usually be typically situations that have been going on like for the last couple of weeks, but for years, if you just decide that, you know what, it's time for new energy as far as this goes, I have to just let it go and do its thing, then you might be pleasantly surprised. That's the other thing that's happening, is there's a lot of pleasant surprises happening with this energy. By releasing attachments, letting them do their own thing, a lot of them are popping up to the high vibe level, and or by releasing old stuff like that, there's new opportunities and new stuff popping up right in front of you. Like there's all this new universal manifestation creative energy that's really just popping up. And so some things that maybe you've desired in life for a little while now, those are starting to probably take form and shape. If you've been working on anything that you've kind of desired, there's going to be some things forming and taking shape as far as opportunities go, in little surprising ways. So if you're feeling delays and hiccups, don't hold on to that energy. Just let it go with all the other attachments, and just be curious and see how things are going to unfold for you. Because the other thing is, a lot of manifestational energy stuff is unfolding in ways that are unpredictable. So if you're holding on to a version of, okay, I'm making this transitional shift, I can feel it, I can see the clarity, and I'm releasing old stuff. I'm kind of trying to release my fears. And oh man, now we're having this hiccupy energy. So was I wrong? Was I right? What's happening with this? And then all of a sudden, you're going to see the cards sort of unfold for you and lay out in a totally different manner, probably than you thought, but in a way better version than you imagined. Because it's almost like the universe is shuffling some cards around, and you're still going to get this a positive vibe outcome, but most likely the picture is going to be painted differently than you thought in your head. And that's part of that releasing part, but it's also part of coming in and trusting this new high vibe energy. So if you're an empath in transition, this is all going to be a part of trusting the energy that the universe is bringing in. And I suppose you might have heard that I really need a soundproof room, you guys, to do my podcast on. Every once in a while, there's just like a really lovely, loud piece of something, traffic that goes by. Anyways, so you're going to find that you're going to feel a lot more urged to follow signs and signals from the universe, synchronicities, because you're going to feel urged to start aligning with that energy. So I would say November and December are the times, or the next few months, you're going to sort of be building a trust with, let's say, the cliche of having faith that things are going to work out. So you're going to start learning to trust your empath abilities and being tuned into things, and also your ability to manifest. And you're going to start having faith more so that things are going to work out for you. So we have a lot of stuff going on. We've got these high transitional energy right now. Really a lot of just wanting to, the urge to release the old way that you've been living and doing things, old patterns, old habits, old relationships, old just habits and patterns you fall into are no longer going to be working, which is going to be right now with some major shifts going on. And you know what? Last couple years, this isn't working for me anymore. Whatever it is that you're doing, I'm really feeling urged to make this shift. And so that's going to lead you to some clarity and wanting to break some old attachments, or really kind of let go of old ways of doing things, which is going to lead to kind of excitement and clarity and feeling like, yep, I'm feeling more tuned in. And then it's going to be like, oh no, hiccupy bumpy road, where you're going to start questioning and feeling anxious and nervous and worried. And so these things are just, I want to say, surfacey emotions, because the underlying energy current is a very high vibe, positive, work itself out, don't worry about it type of energy wave. So those like I've talked about before, it's kind of like just the bumpy waves on the surface, but they don't have weight to them as far as this energetic wave is going. And then right now on your empath life chart, you're going to be really starting to build trust with the universe and universal energy, and you're going to start building some trust with your empath abilities. So that's what's happening right now, and that's going to be going into November, December. So my suggestion for you in November, December is to keep plugging away with the shifts and changes that you want to make in your life right now. If you're an empath and you're wanting to bring about some shifts and changes, or if you haven't thought about this, think about it, because the transitional stage is happening anyways. So it's nice to give a destination to it. So where do you want to be? If it's career-wise, where do you want to see yourself? If it's relationship-wise, what would be the coolest version of that? If it's money-wise, what are you really trying to pull in, and for what purpose? Are you needing more time off? Are you looking for a vacation? Like, are you just needing more stress relief in that area? So really kind of give a destination for this energy that you're going to be kind of working with. Where do you want to see yourself? How do you want to see your life unfold? What feels better to you? What feels less stressful to you? And what makes you smile? What makes you feel happy if this situation worked out that way, or that situation, or this career or money or whatever? What makes you feel like, oh, wow, I couldn't even imagine this turning out better. This is awesome. Like I am so blessed that my life turned out this way. What would that be? And work on that. Play around with that in your head. Work with that energy. Use that thought process as this energy is really kind of rolling itself out for you, and become more in tune with that part of yourself. Okay, so hopefully that you found this helpful. Don't forget that 40% off is like insane. It's like a huge discount. So get on my list, empowered-empath.com. Go there, take the empath quiz, or get on the Empath University wait list, because it will be there. And definitely be on my email list if you want to have the opportunity to do a half-hour empath session with me, because the first 5 people will get that. Or you can get my groups, but all my stuff will go out to the list first. So I assume that the 5 will be gone just straight from the list. And that is going to be rolling out very, very shortly, hopefully this week. Worst case scenario, bumps and hiccups, right? Worst case scenario would be next week, but you definitely want to get on the list. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe either on iTunes or YouTube if you're enjoying this, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of these types of podcasts and a lot more empath stuff as well. Also, I do try to read the comments within the first 24 hours on YouTube. And thank you so much for everybody who's leaving reviews on iTunes. You're amazing. And you guys are always so awesome. I love hearing from you guys. So don't forget to like, subscribe, push the notification button, and you can make it through. Just keep your energetic seatbelt on. Things are still looking up and good. Have the most amazing day. Aloha.